One turn that we got a hotel room.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the City of Lebanon Planning and Zoning meeting for May the 3rd, 2021. We only have 3 items to discuss tonight. We'll have roll call to start, please.
Mark Vanneman.
Here.
Chad Kiger.
Here.
Bruce Pauley.
Here.
Ron Edwards.
Here.
Lori Gross. Here.
Okay, we have everybody here tonight. Everybody had a chance to look at the minutes from last month, if so, and there's no discussion or whatever. I'd like a motion and a second.
Make a motion to approve the April minutes.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Minutes were approved. This is a public meeting, so anybody caring to speak, get your chance here shortly. We need everybody that's going to speak to sign in over here. The first item is Bert and Susan Whitsonan requesting a development standard variance to construct a garage addition located at 205 Woodland Drive here in Lebanon. The property is zoned SF2, which is single family 2, and they're wanting a side setback variance. Ben?
Good evening, board members. I'll give you a quick overview of this one and walk through the staff report for you. The applicant is seeking to construct an attached garage addition to this house. And if they would pull up the computer for us here, I'll give you a quick overview of the property. This is the property in its current condition. There is an existing detached single-car garage. They are wishing to build an attached 2-car garage essentially in this area here. And I'll pull up the quick drawing that shows that. This kind of gives you that same site there where they're showing where that 2-car garage addition. This is one of those situations where the ordinance requires an attached 2-car garage for any new construction home. In this case, he's looking to add that and meet that requirement. However, the house and lot that when it was originally constructed didn't really plan for that attached 2-car garage. We're in a situation where we're trying to meet the ordinance requirement with the attached 2-car garage and don't have the space to do it. So in this case, they've made it fit as much as they possibly could, but they do still need a little bit of a variance from that side setback. Side setback requirement is 7.5 feet, and they are seeking to place the garage so it's 6.5 feet from the property line. So we do need a variance in order to allow them to build that attached 2-car garage with that 1-foot variance for that side setback. In terms of the findings of fact, for the record, those are included in the staff report, and we have determined that they have met all the findings of fact requirements. And with that, staff has recommended approval of the development standards variance request to permit the construction of a garage addition that is 6.5 feet from the side property line. Happy to answer any questions if there are any.
I don't think we have any questions at this point. Thank you. Would Mr. or Mrs. Whitsonan step forward and explain a little bit about it? No, just before you leave. Microphone, please.
That's fine. Perfect.
I'm Bert, my wife Susie. We have been members of Boone County for since 1970. And I retired in 2015. We moved to Illinois for 5 years because I had grandkids up there graduating. And we came back to Indiana and Lebanon because we like the community. As you know, it's pretty hard to find homes currently in this area. So we bought this little home with the intent of adding a 2-car garage. And the reason for the variance is the setback will limit me to about an 18-foot wide garage. And if you've ever had an 18-foot wide garage, if you put 2 medium-sized cars in there, you really can't get in and out of the cars. So we're asking for basically 1.5 feet, actually 12 inches, making it 19.5. And that'll allow us to construct the garage properly. On the construction of a garage, we want a 16-foot garage door, and you need on each side of that garage door proper support. And that's typically 3 jack studs and 2 vertical members to hold the header in place. Well, if we stick with 18 or 18 and a half feet, there isn't enough room to properly attach to the foundation, get the garage tied to the foundation. So the addition of this variance will allow us to make the proper assembly of the garage and give us enough room to get in and out of the cars. In an 18 or 18 and a half foot garage, with two medium-sized cars, when you open the door, you've only got about 10 inches to wiggle in. And this will give us another 6 or 7 inches on each side. So basically, that's the request, and we'd appreciate your consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Pretty cut and dry, I think. Since there's no questions, next, it is a public meeting, so if anybody would care to step forward and speak, we'd appreciate it. Seeing no one stepping forward, we'll close the public end of it. Now, we will look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve docket 21-25 with a 6.5 foot side property line setback.
Second.
Also,
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Kelly?
Chad.
Mark Vandeman.
Aye.
Chad Kiger.
Aye.
Bruce Polly.
Aye.
Ron Edwards.
Aye.
Lori Gross.
Unanimous, congratulations. Thank you. Good luck. Hated to bring you up for something, I guess, this easy, but that's part of it. Okay, next item on the docket is with docket 20-27. It's Arc of Greater Boone County. The property is located at 910 West South Street here in Lebanon. The property is zoned neighborhood business and comprised of approximately 1/1500 of an acre. The subject lot configuration is 66 feet wide, 100 feet in depth. Ben?
All right, quick walk through and overview of this request here from the ARC of Greater Boone County. They are looking to add some additional signage just to provide some direction to their clients that are coming to their business. Currently, most of their clients come in on South Street off of the interstate, and there is no clear location where they know to turn to get to their parking lot. So if they pull up the computer, I'll kind of show you what we're looking at here. So the office where many of these clients are going is located here. It's actually just to the north, as you see there, and South Street is just along the bottom of this screen here. See, so ARC of Greater Boone County owns all of this property here, and they would like to put a sign out on South Street just to provide some directions to the folks that are coming in from the interstate. Technically speaking, though, because the business is not located on this lot where they want to put the sign, it is considered an off-premise sign, which is not permitted. So again, this is a situation where if that alley wasn't there and this was all one piece of property, it would be no issue, but because it is a separate piece of property, it is an off-premise sign, so it does require a variance in order to put that sign out there. And let me real quick just kind of give you a quick idea of what the look of the sign is, so you can see that as well. All right. This gives you a quick idea of the sign they're proposing. It's for their career connections services they provide, and the folks that use those services on Main Street. And so they put this sign, very similar to this, on South Street to provide just some signage so that their clients know that that's where they turn to go up that alley to the parking lot. So that's what they're trying to do, is trying to get some signage out there so people know where to turn and go to the location. So as I said, this does require a variance because it is considered an off-premise sign, which is not permitted. But it is a property that is directly adjacent to the location of the business, but it's just not all one contiguous lot because of the alley. So it does require the variance. Let's see, the staff report, we had provided findings of fact for the record, and we have determined that they have met all the requirements of those findings of fact. And with that, the City of Lebanon staff recommends approval of the variance request to permit the installation of an off-premise sign on the subject property. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Is this sign to be lit?
I don't believe so, but I'll let the applicant answer.
Okay, so let's say it is or it isn't. If in the future, let's say it's not lit, they decide to light it, would they have to come back and
We allow signs to be lit. There are standards for how they can light it, but signs are permitted to be lit. And this is zone neighborhood business, so it's a commercially zoned property. So as long as they met our standards for lighting, theoretically, they would not have to come back here.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you, sir. Would somebody care? Come on up.
Hello, my name's Troy Freeze. I am the manager of the Career Connection. That's a department of the ARC of Greater Boone County. What we do is we work with, can you hear me okay? Or do I need to?
Why don't you
Okay.
go ahead and,
So what we do is we work with individuals that have some type of barrier to employment, mostly disabled, find employment in the community, competitive employment's the key word there, and help them maintain that employment and working with the employer to accommodate for those individuals. So 4 years ago, 90% of our clients were Lebanon-based. It's not that way anymore. Now we are serving much more from Zionsville and the northwest side of Indianapolis. So the individuals that are coming up, limited means, so they don't have a lot of apps to find our business, cognitively usually a little bit mild, can drive a lot of times, but it's hard for them to find that back parking lot as you saw. So that often requires them to park in our bigger parking lot, which is about a block away, and that's really inconvenient for a lot of our individuals that come. And that's if they can even find the house, because it's a renovated house. We provide a lot of programs right now, a lot of training programs inside that business. So there's a lot of Saturday programs that I have people come up and participate in, and some certification programs as well. So it's really important for them to be able to find our location. We can technically go to Indianapolis and service them for the employment part, but as for the training portion, they often have to come up to our business. So that lot is empty as of right now. So there's a lot of area that we can put that sign on. So we're not saying we want it somewhat close to that alley, but it doesn't have to be within so many feet. You just tell us where it needs to go, and that's where we'll put it.
Any questions for the applicant? Thank you.
Okay.
Anybody from the audience care to address the issue? Being a public meeting. Okay, we'll close the public end of it. If nobody has any questions, entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we approve docket 21-27, to approve the development standard variance request to permit the installation of an off-premise sign.
Second.
Do we have a motion and a second? Kelly?
Mark Vandeman.
Aye.
Chad Kiger.
Aye.
Bruce Pelly.
Aye.
Ron Edwards.
Aye.
Lori Gross. Aye.
Congratulations, good luck. Motion passes. Our last item on the agenda, Mr. Edwards is going to step back, correct?
Going to recuse myself from voting this time.
Okay. It's docket 21-28. Paul Strawmeyer is the applicant. The property is located 2055 East 250 South. The property is owned single-family residential and comprises of approximately 1 acre. The subject lot configuration is 162 feet wide, 268 feet deep. Mr. Bontrager.
All right. Let me get everything situated here. All right, this is another attached accessory structure here. This is south out in the county in a SF zone area, so it's a rural area. This is a 1 acre lot. The applicant is actually seeking to construct a larger barn. It's about 40 by 70 feet. This is a situation here where he has decided that he wanted to attach it to the house. This is one of two things was going to happen here. One, he was either going to have a variance for size because even in a rural area, we still require them or will only allow up to 50% of the main house. So even though you might have, an acre lot with plenty of room to put a barn out there, if you only have like a 1,500 to 2,000 square foot lot, your size, your accessory structure is limited. So in this case, he actually is going to attach it to the house, which makes it part of the primary structure. What's happening now is in the SF zoning district, the primary structure setback is 15 feet, whereas the accessory structure setback would only have been 10 feet. So we were going to create a variance one way or another with this one because it was either going to need a variance for the square footage of the barn or a variance for the setback because of the placement. I'll show you here. This is the site. The barn would essentially be placed across what is the end of the driveway to allow for access to the barn. He's got just a quick drawing here, it's kind of dark, but this is the house again, so the barn would be attached to the back corner of the house and be situated as so at the end of the driveway. So again, the structure will actually be set back 11.5 feet from the property line, whereas 15 feet is required for a primary structure because it's attached to the house. So again, we worked with the applicant, suggested it doesn't have to be attached to the house. You could choose to make it an accessory structure, but there was still going to be a variance. So he decided in terms of being able to access it from the existing driveway, this location made sense, so he was just going to keep it attached to the house. So that meant that the request that was coming before you tonight was going to be the side setback rather than the accessory structure size. So that is the request before you tonight, is for that side setback to allow a barn to be constructed. There are no other requirements for the barn in terms of just general construction materials or anything like that. So, and the barn itself does meet any other requirements we'd have for accessory structures. It's just the setback variance that's before you tonight. In terms of the findings of fact, for the record, those are located in the staff report, and we have determined that they have met all the requirements in terms of findings of fact. And with that, then, staff has recommended approval of the development standards variance request to permit the construction of a barn addition that is 11.5 feet from the side property line in the SF district. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I think we're good to go. We could get the applicant to step forward for a second and give us a little history.
My wife and I'm Paul, my wife is Scarlene. We've lived in Boone County most all of our life, or at least I have. We've been at this property for 35 years, and initially when I moved in, I said I was going to have a mini barn, but apparently that wasn't as big an item as I thought, because it never got there. But I do have a camper and a boat and some stuff, and the reason for the setback is the way the property was initially designed. First of all, it was a 10-foot variance back then, which I didn't build it, but it was that way when we moved in. So the issue would be, if we couldn't get the variance, is being able to back something into the building. So to have a big enough door, and then kind of similar to what they were talking about, to have the structure out far enough to support the door and that type of thing, it's a matter of access. So I've got plenty of room to, could have made it bigger or rearranged it, but I wouldn't have access to get in it. So that's why we're requesting that.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
This is a public meeting. Anybody care to speak? Okay, we'll close the public end of the meeting. Look for a motion and a second, please.
I'll make a motion for docket 21-28 to approve the development standard variance request to permit the construction of the barn addition that is 11.5 feet from the property line.
Second. We have a motion, we have a second. Kelly?
Mark Vanneman.
Aye.
Chad Kiger.
Aye.
Bruce Polly.
Aye.
Ron Edwards. Abstaining. Lori Gross.
Aye.
Motion carries. Congratulations. Good luck. That takes care of the agenda that I have. Does anybody else have anything that they want to add or anything?
Make a motion to adjourn until our next meeting on Monday, June 7th.
Sounds good. Need a second?
Second.
Have a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Meeting is adjourned until June 2nd. Have a good evening.